Alright, it is 8 o'clock by my computer. This is Victor Echo 7, Pop Alpha Whiskey. My name is Patricia, and we are on BC1 for the weekly DMR net. This net is directed towards all DMR operators across British Columbia, and we welcome guests from outside BC. The net meets every Friday night between 8 and 9 p.m. Pacific Time on BC1, which is Talk Group 3027 for repeaters connected to BC Turbo, or Talk Group 30271 if using a repeater or hotspot connected to Brandmeister. Before starting the net, please make sure you are set to the correct talk group and not simply listening to all talk groups on the repeater in monitor or promiscuous mode. I will pause to allow you to check your settings for the appropriate talk group. The net has the following format. Announcements. Check-ins from new stations joining the net for the first time. Anyone needing a quick in and out who cannot wait for their turn alphabetically. And remember, I started at the end of the alphabet. And then we will do all check-ins in groups by their suffixes. Once check-in has completed, we will do technical questions, discussions, concerns. So to begin, do we have any announcements for the net this evening? If so, please go now. Alright, this might be a bit of a quiet net without announcements. We'll see what happens as we get on into the evening. So, now that we're beyond the announcements, let's see if there's anyone new to the net that has not previously checked in. So if you are new to the net and new to DMR, click the PTT. Wait for a beep if your radio's programmed to do that. Count to 3. Because you are bringing up a lot of repeaters across the province, then give your name and call sign. I will then acknowledge you and we'll have a little chat because we do want to know what equipment people are using and how they enjoy it. So if you're new to the net, please go now. Oh, we are moving right along. Okay, last call for quick in and outs. Last call for quick in and outs. Please go now.
Victor Echo 7, Charlie Uniform Sierra.
Net Control acknowledges the following quick in and out station. Victor Echo 7, Charlie Uniform Sierra. Daryl, thanks for joining us. Let us do one more call for quick in and outs. One more call for quick in and outs, and then we'll do the roll call.
Victor Alpha 700 Mike.
Net Control acknowledges Victor Alpha Simmons, Sierra Mike, Steven. Thank you for joining us. We hope you can come again. All right, with our quick in and outs done, let us see who else is around. Starting at the end of the list, Uniform True Zulu. If you're out there, Uniform True Zulu, please go now.
Victor Alpha 7, X-Ray Romeo Juliet.
Echo 7, Whiskey Hotel Lima.
Victor Alpha 7, X-Ray Romeo Juliet, Victor Echo 7, Papa Alpha Whiskey. Russell, how are you doing this evening?
Yeah, good evening, Patricia. I'm doing really good. Just got back from my motorbike ride and just taking it easy. It's starting to rain out. And I'm going to take it and relax now, and I hope you have a great long weekend. Back to you.
Oh, I'm glad you're back from your ride because it's been raining, at least where I am, a good chunk of the day, but it has been getting harder, and I'm sure that's not fun on a motorbike. So stay home, stay warm, and enjoy your long weekend. Victor Echo 7, Whiskey Hotel Lima. Wilfred, how are you doing?
Very good, Patricia. Victor Echo 7, Whiskey Hotel Lima. Just sitting here relaxing, looking forward to the long weekend, and I'll most likely be going to the weekly Burnaby meet tomorrow. I guess it'll be at the church and not at Caribou Park. So anyway, those are my plans for the weekend and not too much else. Back to you.
Yeah, actually, you brought up a good point. Someone from the Burnaby Club just stepped in right now and let us confirm that it is at the church, since we did not have anything in the announcements. I will pause to let someone confirm that the meet will be at the church.
CQT.
Victor Echo 7, Burley Quebec Tango. Please go ahead, Doug.
Thanks, Patricia. I was waiting for Dave, Bravo Victor, to chime in, but he hasn't checked in, so I will say that I heard him this morning on Rainbow Country Net say that we'd be meeting in the church because of inclement weather. So I would suggest, for clarity and certainty, to check in tomorrow morning on the Rainbow Country Net and listen to their announcements just to confirm. But I think there's a very high probability that it will be at the church. Back to you, Patricia, the 7CQT, and I'll check myself in.
Thank you for that, Doug. I do appreciate it. Yeah, definitely. Very always a good thing, especially if you're coming from a distance. Tune into Rainbow Country Net and make sure that it is confirmed. The only way I would see it not being in the church is if they couldn't, for whatever reason, and then they tend to meet at the mall. So, 90% sure the church will be it, provided someone has keys and is able to get in there. We might learn more as the net goes on. Let us do a second call. Uniform through Zulu. Uniform through Zulu. If you're out there, please go now.
Victor Echo 7, Victor Uniform.
Victor Echo 7, Victor Uniform. Dan, how are you doing?
Yeah, good evening, Patricia, and all on net. I'm doing pretty good. Just been enjoying out riding around on my motorcycle with the nice spring weather here in the Kootenays, and also 6 meters. There's been quite a bit of activity there over the past week or so. So I've been having some fun making some contacts on 6 meters, and so we're definitely into springtime here, and can't complain. But it's nice to hear you. Thanks for doing the net. You're doing a great job. 7-3 for now. Victor Echo 7, Victor Uniform.
Yeah, I'm amazed at you guys who are on motorbikes because, well, at least down here, it's wet. I have to put off putting up my tomatoes for another weekend. It is too wet and cold for something like a tomato to go out. But I'm glad you're enjoying it. Let us try our next group, Quebec through Tango. Is there anyone out there with suffixes Quebec through Tango? Please go now.
Just going to jump in, Victor Alpha 7, X-ray of Juliet Charlie, just check.
Victor Echo 7, Romeo Quebec X-ray. Ron in Parksville.
Victor Alpha 7, X-ray Juliet Charlie. How are you doing this evening in Victoria?
Like I said, just checking with you, Patricia. Other than that, we are good over here. A little bit cloudy, but it's not started raining yet. Looks like it should be a fair weekend. I hope everybody has the same in Vancouver and country.
Well, I'm envious. Our weekend right now is looking wet, but that does mean I don't have to dig out the hole for the fence post because that would be completely miserable. Okay, let us go on to Victor Echo 7, Romeo Quebec X-ray. Ron, how are you doing?
Good evening, Patricia and everyone in the net. I'm doing fine. We're getting a little bit of light rain here in Parksville, and God knows we need it. It's been a really dry spring, and every little bit helps. Anyway, wishing everyone a good night.
Yes, there is that, but it has been a little bit dry. Unfortunately, I lost both my rain barrels. I got a new one. But it is bigger than the old, so I have to fix the stand I want to put it on so I can properly get a bucket under it for when I go watering. So I'm a little sad that all of this rain I'm not actually catching, but eventually I will get there. Let us do a second call for Quebec through Tango. Quebec through Tango, please go now.
B7RFP.
Victor Echo 7, Romeo Foxtrot Bravo. Looks like you have the slot to your soft front. How is Florida?
Yeah, well, I'm late to the party, but at least I got here in time to say hello. And everyone sounds quite good on this machine tonight. And finally, I got my handheld working on DMR. After 2 years of looking for the problem in the software, I found I was confusing the number 8 in an entry with the O with a crossbar in it. And to my eyesight, they looked sufficiently the same that I goofed. Anyway, back to you. This is B7 RFP.
That must have been so frustrating. You have my sympathy. The problem with a lot of those lovely code plug writing programs is you can't change the font on them like you do Excel or anything else. So, yeah, I could see how you could do that. Well, at least you've got it fixed now. Congratulations. Let us move on to our next group. By the way, since you did mention you came late, I do reverse the alphabet, so we're just starting. Let us continue with call signs. Lima for Papa. Lima for Papa. If you're out there, please go now.
VE7 Oscar Kilo. Victor Alpha 7 Mike Delta.
Victor Echo 7, Oscar Kilo. Victor Echo 7, Papa Whiskey. Oz, how are you doing this evening?
It's a bit tough to fit all of the outdoor activities in the 3.7 minutes of sunshine that we had today, but luckily the bylaw indicates that Delta, South Delta especially, must have sunshine. So it's written in the bylaw about 3.5 not enough.
Well, sometimes you're just going to have to grin and bear it. The weather has other ideas, and it really doesn't care about our petty laws. Okay, Victor Alpha 7, Mike Delta, Dave, one of my loggers, and thank you so much for logging tonight. How are you doing?
Good evening, Patricia, and everybody on that. Victor Alpha 7 Mike Delta. Well, Ron sort of stole a bit of my thunder up here for Kelowna, but it's been started off with a little rain this morning, but then it cleared up, and it's been a nice day ever since. But looking up towards Vernon, it looks like they're getting the rain now, so we'll take it for there. And thanks for doing the net tonight, Patricia.
Yeah, I am looking outside my window right now, and it's definitely gray, but we'll see what happens. But I'm glad you had the sunny weather. I have a friend why? I think she's probably closer to Prince George than anything else. She's out in a little lake that doesn't get much for phone or any sort of traffic, and they get sun, so they get monster vegetables. So I can understand why you have sun and we don't. But let us try another call for success. suffixes, Lima through Papa. Second call, Lima through Papa. If you're out there, please go now. Okay, let us try Hotel Trujillo. Is anyone out there with suffixes Hotel Trujillo? Please go now.
Victor Alpha 7, Romeo Alpha Kilo.
Okay, we had a bit of a collision there, so I will take the one that I heard first, and then I will go for the one I'm reading off the screen, even though it didn't quite sound like the false one I heard, so there might be a third one in there as well. We'll see where we get to. Victor Alpha 7, Romeo Alpha, Roland, how are you doing?
Good evening from rainy, I guess I'm in New Westminster at this moment, heading back to South Vancouver, and I just happened to turn the DMR radio on, which I remembered I had in the car. That's all I have for you tonight. Go ahead, next draw.
Okay, sometimes that's all you have, but we're glad you made it here anyway. Okay, the call sign I see, which doesn't quite match with what I heard, was Victor Echo 7, Foxtrot Bravo Kilo. David, please go ahead.
Good evening, Patricia and everybody. Thank you very much for taking my check-in. I don't have any traffic other than tomorrow I'm looking forward to a nice cool day, and I might get down to the church and have a chat with everybody, but other than that, have a wonderful weekend, everybody. 73 Victor Echo 7 Fox Bravo Kilo.
Yeah, there is having a nice cool day. I, so far, have managed to make it this far, not onward, into the year without firing up the air conditioner. There have been a couple of close calls that hasn't needed it yet. Okay, was there a third station in there? If there is, please go now. With nothing heard on that, let us do a second round. Hotel Trujillo. Hotel Trujillo, second round. Please go now.
Victor Echo 7, Juliet November Hotel.
Victor Echo 7, Juliet November Hotel. How are you doing tonight, John?
Oh, pretty well, thank you. I'm back from doing my walk around the mall. 2 laps and I'm good.
Is this that big mill in Tsawwassen, the Tsawwassen Mills Mall, or is this a different one?
Well, that's one, actually. It's a very nice mall to walk around. I don't usually buy much, but I bought some tongs at the dollar store.
Yes, that is a very nice mall. I have walked around it once or twice before, and you're doing good for doing it twice. I don't live quite so close anymore, so I don't see it as much, but it does have a couple of interesting stores in it. Let us go on to Delta Through Golf. Delta Through Golf, if you're out there, please go now. Let's try that again. Delta Through Golf, if you're out there, please go now. All right. Let us do Alpha Through Charlie. Alpha Through Charlie. You've been patient. You've made it. Please go now.
Victor 7, Charlie Tango Hotel.
Victor Echo 7, Charlie, Quebec Tango.
Victor Echo 7, Charlie Tango Hotel. Brian, we were doing some speculation on the Burnaby Club meeting in the church tomorrow. Doug heard something on the Rainbow Country Net, and given that I know that you are involved with that club as well, I thought I would bug you to confirm and see if you have any additional information. And then tell us a little bit about how your week went.
Good evening, Patricia. Good evening, everybody on net. It's Brian, U7CTH. And yes, I heard the same announcement that Doug heard by Dave, U7 Bravo Bravo Victor. And so just looking outside, looking at the constant rain, I'm pretty sure it's going to be the church as well.
Cool. Thank you very much. I just wanted to make sure that it was confirmed this week ago, as opposed to being kicked out to Metrotown or something like that. All right. And Doug, thank you for logging, and thank you for confirming, but please, tell us how things are going for you, Victor Echo 7, Charlie Quebec Tango.
Yeah, the E7CT here. Doing well. I picked up a bit of a bug from the grandkids last weekend, so I'm well on my way to conquering that particular challenge. On a more techie note, as Brandmeister rep for the province, I've been asked to sign up for Ham over IP, which is a voice service much like Ham Shack Hotline, which I also have to apply for. I don't have it yet. They're shut down for the weekend, and they need Mac ID of the phone so that they can send me the configuration. They do all the work, as opposed to the Ham VoIP, which I successfully set up this afternoon. And I must admit, it is a lot nicer working on a phone that has a web interface than one that you're struggling with cryptic files, configuration files all over the place. So yeah, this phone is much newer, has Wi-Fi, has Bluetooth, has a web interface, has a really nice colored screen that isn't touch, but it does have soft function buttons, and is much nicer and easier to configure even through that. So yeah, I'm a bit chuffed that it works. It worked the first time practically, and me and ChatGPT, we're on first name basis now because it helped me with some of the more arcane things when it wouldn't keep the time properly. So for whatever reason, there seems to be a firmware bug in this particular radio that does not like network time servers. Back to you, Patricia.
Sounds like you had fun with something that comes very close to my day job. Because I was dealing with Polycom phones, web interface. Yes, I was tweaking the dinky little config files for all of those things, and having config files call config files, depending upon what the phone was when we had it with Skype. And now that we've got it on Teams, I've got a newer version of the phone that does talk Teams, but I still needed a dinky little config file because we're a 2-story building and we actually use the paging function, which probably no one else does. So I completely understand the dinky little config files, and thank you, there is a web interface. Particularly when you're trying to enter text on a numeric keypad, it is not fun. So, congratulations. Let us do another round of, actually, Alpha 3 Charlie, leader missed. Alpha 3 Charlie, leader missed. Please go now.
Victor Alpha 7, Tango Charlie.
Victor Alpha 7, Tango Charlie Mike. Trevor, you made it. Please go ahead.
Thank you, Patricia, and everyone else on net. Apparently, I was asleep at the radio. I didn't hear my suffix group get called, so I had to wait till the end. And my absentees for last week, I was celebrating my quarter of century birthday, so I was also late to the radio on that one, and by the time I realized it was close to 9 o'clock, so I quickly keyed up on George Star there, but I guess the net ended early, so. Other than that, nothing else to report from 14 John, 7-3 to all, and have a great rest of your long weekend. VA 7 TCM, like net control.
Well, thank you for joining us, and you do remember I reversed the alphabet, so that's probably why you missed it. Okay, let us do one last call for late or missed. Anyone who has not checked in, please go now.
Victor Echo 7, Golf Echo uniform.
Victor Echo 7, Golf Echo uniform. Dave, how are you doing this evening?
Okay, Patricia, Victor Echo 7, Golf Echo Uniform, calling in from Burnaby. I guess I'm doing okay. Just inside, staying out of the rain and paperwork.
Yeah. Burnaby is, I guess you're out because normally you're calling from Vancouver. So hopefully you get home soon and it's not too bad. Alrighty, we are now on to the second portion of our NAT. And let's talk technical discussions, questions, or concerns. So if there's something that you want to bring up to the net, please go ahead with your call sign, and I'll give you the floor.
VE7CQT with a question for the general community.
Victor Echo 7, Charlie Quebec Tango. Victor Echo 7, Papa Alpha Whiskey. Go ahead, Doug.
Okay, one of the issues that I've been asked to look into as the rep for Brandmeister for the province, the BC Turbo folks, is moving this net and primary talk group from 30271, which is on Brandmeister, back to 3027 to align with the turbo system. We have and I'm looking here at repeater. Okay, let's try that again. We've been asked to consider moving the primary talk group on Brandmeister from 30271 to align with 3027, which is the turbo system main talk group. They don't carry 30271. That doesn't mean that we will abandon it. It just means that we'll move the net over to 3027 because in most of the code plugs it is already there. It's hidden. I haven't exposed it because it would be confusing. But it's easy for me to do and publish the code plug. The problem is the users, all of you folks who roll your own code plugs might not have it and would have to add it and be aware. Secondly, the administrators for all the Brandmeister repeaters would need to change their static talk group and add it. Either eliminate the 30271 as static or add 3027 as static. So, a question for the group. How much of a logistic do you think this would be, and is it even feasible to consider aligning with the turbo guys? And back to you, Patricia, for arbitration, VE7CQ.
Okay, I will jump in with my opinion for a sec, and then we'll go for arbitration. Being the supremely lazy person that I am, my code plug and my firmware is probably 2 years old, if not more, so yeah, I probably have to update and change it, which would be a good excuse to update the firmware. As one of the people who look after Sun, it's not that hard to change the static on there. We'll just have to set a time to do it. I think that would be if we want to do it, we announce it, we are going to do it at X date, and have X date like September, beginning of school year, or January, if you really wanted to go that far out, the beginning of the next year or something like that. So there's lots of notice that's given to all of the clubs. That would be my opinion on how to do it. I will now pause and let Let's go ahead with their call signs to render their opinion.
Sure, Juliet Charlie.
Seven Whiskey Hotel Lima.
Victor Alpha 7.
I don't see a problem in that transition. I would think that VA7KA or V7KA would be the one to discuss that with. But if both groups were left in an active form for a couple of months, allowing people to make a transition from 30271 to 3027, that would probably be the better way of going about it than simply changing it straight over and ending the 30271. The 7 Casey?
Yep, I agree with you there. I will say that it doesn't actually affect the turbo repeaters. So KA looks after all of the turbo repeaters. I don't know if he looks after any Branchmeister repeaters. So only half of the network would be affected. Okay, I also doubled with Victor Echo 7 Whiskey Hotel Lima. Blueprint, please go ahead.
Patricia, you know, my experience with DMR is next to zilch, but I always think that, you know, if you're going to do a transition like of the scale that that is envisioned here, that you know, a good long lead time is you know, what's required, and giving lots of notice so that you know, people have time to adjust and systems can be I guess aligned or whatever, for, you know, lack of a better term. So that's just my my 2 cents. Back to you.
Thank you. Do we have anyone else who has an opinion on this? Please go ahead.
Victor Alpha 7, Mike Delta.
Victor Alpha 7, Mike Delta. Dave, please go ahead.
Well, I'm personally thinking you're opening up a big can of worms. I know I could probably change my Rebus over, but I cannot. I have to get a bot somebody else to do the Hytera that I'm running up here at the moment, and I think that a lot of the operators that aren't already on it may have issues because some of these repeaters are not that accessible.
Thank you for that. I was operating under the assumption that if the repeater was up and on the internet, the operators would have some sort of remote control over the repeater. So thank you for the correction on that. That puts a different reflection on the problem. Does anyone else have an opinion to render for this? Please go ahead with your call sign.
The 7CQP with a rebuttal.
Go ahead, Doug.
Okay, thanks, Patricia. V7CQT here. I have been talking with Jeff V7KA, and this is something that we've been talking about for a few months now. I haven't really had a chance to talk to the Brandmeister people about doing it. I don't know how difficult that would be at their end, at the server end. I don't think it's huge. To go back to Dave's comment, any repeater that's on the Brandmeister network has a dashboard back at the Brandmeister self-help section. And you can change your statics from that point if you've set up a remote password to allow for it. The API that it's called. You need an API password for it. If not, then yes, a trip to the site to modify the settings will be required. So let's table it for the moment until I have a chance to talk with the monitor group to see what the big issue, if any, is, what the issues might be for them back at the server, and we'll see where it goes from there. I just wanted to get a general feel for how many people modify their own code plugs versus the ones that we publish on the BC DMR website. That would be easy because we could easily advertise that we're going to change the talk group 4 months in advance. And I'll remind folks who check into the Pacific Northwest group that they used to be on WASH 1, and they changed over to PNW Regional 2 after several months of talking about it and advertising it. And then when they did the actual cutover, they monitored the old talk groups for quite a while just to catch people who might have been listening in promiscuous mode and checked in on WASH 1 still. We'll do the same thing, and it won't be that difficult, but it just, as Will says, we need to take time to advertise it and give some long leads for people to muster their systems. Anyway, I will thank the community for their comments, and I'll take them back with me. This is VE7CQP. Thanks, Patricia.
Thank you, Doug. It was an interesting conversation, and it is something that might have to happen for a couple of times as we get a better view on the problem. So, with that said, since we are 10 minutes to the hour, let's do a late or miss. Do we have anyone who is late or missed and has not yet checked into the net? Please go now. Okay. With deadly silence on the air, is there any other conversation that someone would like to pick up for the next 10 minutes? If there's anything we can help you with, or just something general with DMR, please go down.
VA7 XJC again, Patricia. Just a slight observation, if I may have a...
There we go. Victor Alpha 7, X-Ray, Juliet, Charlie, James, please go ahead.
This is not a negative to anybody out there in the community. It's just an aspect regarding code plugs. I have noticed some people are programming their code plugs to always for access to DMR rather than programming them to pull code free. That causes a collision between various operators and repeaters. It's better off if your code plugs are programmed for color code free under the admit criteria. That gets around any potential conflict between either Brandmeister and DMR or just between DMR operators.
be something I will have to have a look at the next time I roam a cold plug. Do we have any other comments for the next tonight? Please go down. I think that is a Doug or probably more a KA question. Because now you're talking about the bridge between Grandmeister and Turbo and whether there's a subject in there or if everything is hard matched between. So Doug, since I don't think I heard KA on, would you know anything? Directo 7, Charlie Tango, please go ahead.
You know, people with families and jobs volunteer their time to fix these things and keep them going and improve them. I'm going to go back to the previous talker's point about transmit and the permits that we should be using in our code plugs. And it's true that some people are using the wrong ones. The B&W folks running a turbo system down south of us published a document about that some time ago, which we are following in the code plugs that I publish here for BC Turbo, or BC DMR, which affects both Turbo and Brandmeister. For repeaters, I use the TX permit of same color code. Not always. That is definitely a no-no. Don't ever use always. Channel free, yeah, but in the handshaking that goes on with the repeater, you're going to get a denial anyway if the channel is already busy. You'll get a boop tone and hopefully a message on your screen that says that the repeater is not available or busy. So I think same color code and channel free basically give you essentially the same thing. And that's what I'm using is same color code. Anyway, back to you, Patricia. V7.
Code is something I remember, so that is probably what I've got going in my code book. Okay, we're pretty close to the top of the hour, so let's do one more late or missed, and then we will probably call it for tonight. So anyone want to go in, please go now. Alrighty, off my loggers. Who wants to jump in and give us the stats? Someone go for it. Thanks.
Since I'm doing most of the talking, and I'm getting a little bit hoarse from it with that bug I'm getting over. The total for tonight is 20. We didn't have any new ones, I don't think. Anyway, I will say 73. And thank you very much for hosting tonight, Patricia, and Dave for logging as well.
We appreciate Doug, you trying to strike your voice while feeling still a little under the weather. It always makes for interesting conversation. So 73, everyone. And I will be now returning the talk group back to regular use. Hope everyone enjoys the log again.